Hi. Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the NGSS webinar for December 13, 2022. Sorry, I made a mistake there. It should be 2022. Now we're not in 2023 yet. But in the chat box, you should see the resource link. And for those of you who are watching the recording, you'll get that resource link in an email. I'm Anthony Kwan. I am your host for today. And I've got lots of things to talk to you about today. But we want to wish you all a very happy holidays. This is the team here at LEGO who's here to support all of your science needs. So again, I'm Anthony Kwan. I'm the STEM Science Coordinator here. You also have Sean Hawk, who is our project director of our Outdoor and Marine Science Field Studies program. Steffi Fortunato is here to assist you with any and all of your CAST and CAA needs. And then you have any general questions, our unit secretary, Maria Jimenez, is here to assist you as well. Again, the resource link for today is available as a bit.ly link to all of you. And we don't have our guest speaker, but again, we want to wish all of you a restful, peaceful, and safe winter break. And with that, we're going to go ahead and move forward. If our speaker comes in, we'll get him in later. But we're going to go ahead and talk to you just quickly about CAA for Science. Again, if you are a teacher who is supporting special ed students, this is information for you. If you are a coach, educational leader, you will probably also want to know this information as well. And again, these are just reminders. For those of you who were part of the leadership network meeting, you got a little bit more of a deeper dive in terms of all of these resources that are available to all of you. And let's see if this is James. Hi, Trina. Okay, so I'm going to put into the chat box again for you the resource link. And right now we're talking about CAA for Science. So if you are in the folder, please go ahead and go into that folder right now. And essentially what you are going to see in there is a document that's broken up in three pieces. There's the overview, the test administration, as well as the resources. And if you don't see that folder, let's see if I can get you the link for you right now. And I'll put it into the chat box for you. Okay, and that is the link. And oh, here it looks like our speaker is in right now. So we'll give him a couple of minutes. Hello, James. James, you hear me okay?
Yes, I can. Sorry about that. You know how this technology is. Let me get my camera on here.
Sure.
Howdy. How's everything?
Oops. We're good. And I'm going to give you co-host rights so that you can go ahead and share your screen and everything else like that.
Okay, I'll just jump right on in then. Is that okay?
So we'll pause here, folks, and then we'll get to these resources and tips for you. But I'm going to go ahead and let James go ahead and take care of all of you with his presentation, short presentation for all of you.
Yes, thank you so much, Anthony. I appreciate it so much. Let me just make sure all my sound and everything is optimized here.
Okay.
Make sure we got it here. Are you able to see my screen here, this dashboard that I'm scrolling through? Yes?
Yes.
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is James King, and I represent Infinity Learning. And Infinity Learning, what is Infinity Learning? You're probably wondering. Infinity Learning is a National Science Foundation funded research, game-based, problem-based STEM tool. I know it's a lot to kind of take in, but hear me out. What essentially Infinity is, it's if you want to replace some of your old traditional ways of assessing students through, pencil and paper tests, this is a new way to do so, and it's called Infinity Learning. And like I mentioned, it is a National Science Foundation funded supplemental K-8 STEM assessment tool. And how it works is simple. You teach your students, I don't know, about gravity, about plate tectonics, whatever science or math that you are using in your class. This is a great way to assess that knowledge of the students. And what happens is each student's computer turns into a futuristic control station, because the students have to collaborate and play together to get through the levels of the game. So that requires obviously collaboration, communication. They have to be able to work with one another. Each student is assigned a particular role on the mission. So it's essentially like, let me see if I'm gonna test people's age here. It's essentially like Star Trek meets the Magic School Bus. Now, I can't see you guys' faces, but I'm assuming there's people on the line that remember Star Trek and remember the Magic School Bus. So kind of put those together and you have Infinity Learning. So I'm going to just jump right in. So as you can see on the dashboard, I've already logged in, but this is the mission library. We have training missions. You can also input and upload your classes, which we have compatibility with most LMSs. And we have the missions grade banded K3, 4, 6, and then 7, 9. We have some ninth grade courses, and we're building out our high school courses as we speak because we're a young ed tech startup. We don't have the entire high school, but we do have most of our K8 up and running. And so I'm just going to pick a quick mission just to give you an idea of what it feels like. The mission has a storyline which ropes the students into it because they want to be involved in this mission and kind of have a little bit of fun with it. There's also a mission guide that you click on, and it provides more resources for this particular mission. But I'm just going to jump in so you can see how fun it looks, okay? So we create mission, we select our class, we can edit those roles. Like I mentioned before, you have your command team, you have your engineering team, you have your medical team, and you have your security team. And each student can you can randomly select those roles, the computer can randomly select them for you, or you can pick and choose what students you want to have be in particular roles. So we save those roles. You can edit and upload your own questions, but we'll leave that here for now. And we save mission. And we start mission. And this is where we get ready to roll and let everybody see what Infinity Learning is made of. So again, what'll happen is you will project in the front of class the main storyline on the main projector, but each student has their own laptop, and then they'll be able to see once they enter this mission code and they click their name, they'll be able to their name will light up and you can know that they're there. And then we just go in and we start the mission.
Initiating Infinity Mission in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
UCS Infinity, I am Astra, Governor of Vespus 1. Today, I received some troubling news. Above my planet is a space station, normally a place for ships to dock, people to visit, and for goods to be traded. However, I'm told the reactor core on that space station has gone critical. The station has been evacuated, but I need your help to ensure the situation does not escalate. We need you to help us prevent a disaster on Vespus 1 by applying your knowledge of energy. This is a time-sensitive matter. Please, help us however you can.
Hey crew, this is Ralph, your robotic assistant to Lifeforms. I heard we're going to be visiting a space station today. You know, I used to have a friend who every time I would come around...
Special Agent Cobalt here. Sorry to interrupt, Ralph, but there's a space station and a whole planet full of people at risk. We really don't have the time today. The ship is ready to undock. Head to the navigation screen and fly us out of here.
So I'm just going to end it there, because what happens from there, the students will get together and collaborate on what best way to get the ship out of the loading dock. And that requires some coordination from the participants in the game. And so you're probably saying, okay, yeah, this is pretty nice to have. Let me show you this really quick too. I want to show you the analytics that you're able to get back. Okay, well, that didn't work. Let me show you what the analytics page looks like so you can see it. So after you run a mission, the analytics page will show you the knowledge score based on the questions and application of their knowledge of that, the skill score, their critical thinking and collaborative efforts. And then it's also, this is a unique piece, a disposition score, which measures their grit and their initiative. So long story short, you're probably saying, well, this is nice to have, but why do I need this? Let me tell you why. This is the why. This program has the ability to unlock the scientific thinking and engineering practice process within the child's mind. And once that child or that student is able to do that, they can apply it across all content areas. And that's the beauty of this program. At the end of a mission, your students are going to come back, because they always fail the first time, right? The ship crashes or whatever. They come back and they say, Mr. King, when are we going to play this game again? And that's when the teacher takes a moment to say, well, in a couple of weeks, we're going to learn about the water cycle, or whatever, insert name, whatever particular standard you want to run, mission you want to run. And we're going to do that in a couple of weeks. Will you be ready? And that's when the student says, okay, I'm going to make sure that I do A, B, C to make sure that I'm prepared for this next mission, or, exam on steroids. So that's essentially it. I wanted to at least put my name and my email up here at the end. If you want to see more, please write down my email and send me some questions or anything you'd like to know more about Infinity Learning. I'd love to talk to you about it. So that's pretty much it for me, Anthony. And I want to thank you for allowing me to come on board.
Thanks, James. Anybody have questions for James or curious about anything? If not, again, James will put his email into the
I'll put it in the
box,
chat too. Mm-hmm.
and then you can reach out to James.
Okay.
And, we'll go ahead and transition back.
Thank you, Anthony.
Yeah, not a problem. Thanks, James. And then
Okay.
I'll be emailing you about some other things.
Okay. I'm just going to leave my email right there. I think that's it, if I spelled it right. Okay. Thank you. Have a good evening, y'all.
All right, folks. So again, going back to the CAA for Science, when you click on that bit.ly link that I put in the chat box earlier, what you'll then see, oops, I'm sorry. What you'll then see is links to resources. And so one of the things that's going to be important for you is this California assessment timeline. So for those of you who may not be aware of what the CAA for Science is, that is the test for the moderate to severe students. And so this is the assessment timelines for pretty much everything that you're seeing. And so that CAA for Science is, even though it is part of the CASP system, it is given outside the normal testing window that the ELA, mathematics, and the CAS test are given. So you can see that CAA for Science actually started back in September. And so basically what you need to know is that if you are working with special ed students, again, moderate to severe, the CAA for Science are supposed to be given throughout the year. And there are 4 exams that are given out for this. And each of these exams are supposed to be given within 2 weeks after the end of an instruction. So that means that if there is a certain unit that's tied to the CAA for Science assessment, then at the end of that unit, you will need to provide a one-to-one testing accommodation for that special needs student who is going to be taking that test. All right. Other things that you'll need to know other than this testing window are the following. There's also the organization. There's also the California Student Assessment Accessibility Graphic. So this is what your students are able to use during the CAS test, or even using the, this is for the CAS test, but there is one for the, I'm sorry, this is for the CAA for Science, but there's also one for the CAS test as well. But you can see these are the universal tools that your special needs students are able to use. These are the designated supports. And then here are the accommodations, as well as recommendation in terms of the unlisted resources, et cetera, et cetera. So again, if you are the special ed teacher, or if you are supporting moderate to severe students, this is a document that you want to make sure is given so that you know what you can use with that particular student, or what that student is able to use. Other things that you also need to be aware of, if you are not familiar in terms of your instructional practices, you can use these NGSS core content connectors to help assist you in your teaching, as well as looking at the CAA for Science blueprint. Now, what is going to be also interesting, because you are part of LA County, you need to be sure that you are giving the right test. So here's this test administration. Here's this first link, that CAA for Science form assessments. So essentially, if your testing director should have already told you which test you're giving. But if not, let's just say, let's go into put in Castaic, for instance, Castaic USD. So Castaic School District, they would be giving only Form 1. So you can see here's the name of the district, and then here's the name of the individual schools that would also be using that particular form. So make sure that you are using the correct form. You are not using Form 2, 3, or 4. You're only using Form 1 if you are part of Castaic. If you are part of, let's say, Garvey School District, then you can see, depending on what school site you are going to be giving a different kind of a test. So Garvey School, here's Garvey Elementary, so they'll be taking Form 1. And then here's this one, that's Garvey Allen Visual Performing Arts, Form 2. And then there's another one that's in Elk Grove, so that means that that's up north. So they'll be using Form 3. So you got to make sure that you're using the right form for these exams. I'm going to pause here for a moment and see if there's any questions from any of you. No questions? All right. So other resources that you should be aware of. Oops, hello. Some other things that you have are also the directions for administration. So again, if you are proctoring tests, or you are the one in charge of providing the one-on-one or one-to-one exam, make sure that you're using these resources here. If you are a high school, or you are working with high school, there is a separate test administration set of guidelines for high school. So again, for the CAA for Science, it's just like the CAS test. It's delivered in grades 5 and 8. And so there are 4 exams for each one, and each one needs to be given within that grade year, that particular year. So 4 tests within the 5th grade, 4 tests within the 8th grade. If you are a high school, then these students, the special needs students who would qualify to take that CAA for Science, they pretty much have 4 years to complete all 4 assessments. And again, it can be based on the course. So it might be, it may sound like it is discipline specific in that nature, but it is not. It's just when the content is actually taught and when it's going to be completed. The other thing that is also going to be available are these resources. So the parent guide to understanding, how do you talk to the parents about the CAS? And then, of course, there's also assessment spotlights, which spotlights assessment tools that are available to all of you as teachers. So if you are a classroom teacher, if you are the coach, you should be able to get into the CASP website, or specifically the one called Tools for Teachers. And in that Tools for Teachers, there are currently about 60 lessons that are NGSS aligned, and it's grade level specific. Except for the middle school and high school. Those are just middle school lessons and high school lessons. But they are available now to all of you. And if you're not a classroom teacher, you won't get access to those. You would have to actually get a request from the CASP people. But if you are a classroom teacher, you should be able to get access to those tools for teachers. You just have to be sure that you, when you enter it, you select California, and then you have to make sure that if you are a fifth grade, you select fifth grade. Otherwise, you will not see any of the lessons. If you're eighth grade, that's the only that's the only place where you'll see the lessons. But if you're a seventh grade teacher, enter eighth grade, and then you'll still be able to see all those lessons. Same thing with the high school. Again, they're all grade level specific or grade band specific. Okay. Any questions so far? All right, folks. So please make sure that you look up these resources and tips for your use, again, if you are working with your special ed. Other than that, I want to just make sure that you start calendaring some events that are coming up. So updates and announcement includes the following. So if you still have teachers, if you have partners or teams that have not yet received any kind of NGSS training, especially about what NGSS is all about, then the next available course is scheduled for January 1st, 2023. That's when it will begin. Don't worry, because registration will remain open until January 8th. And you'll have 1 month to complete the course. It is a self-paced, asynchronous online course. And when you're done, you'll receive a certificate of completion as well as a digital badge. Other things that are coming up, we've got the English Learner Roadmap Teacher Toolkit, which is actually going to be looking at how that toolkit works in conjunction with history, social science, mathematics, and science, and that's scheduled for February 9th. We are encouraging teams to attend, and so it could be a team of teachers with one administrator, so that you can break up and then I'll go to all of these sessions and then come back together as teams to share the resources and what you've learned. We also have this one. I'm so excited about this one. It's a partnership with UCLA's Earth, Planetary, and Space Science Department. And collectively together, we'll be providing a workshop, a one-day full in-person workshop with a virtual follow-up a month later, but it's tying the earth science with the physics. So if you're a high school physics teacher trying to figure out how the earth science is supposed to be embedded, this is the workshop for you. Same thing, if you're an earth science teacher and trying to figure out how the physics works, come here. And this is open to all middle and high school physics and earth science teachers. So again, it's hosted at the LA Zoo. It's a one-day in-person training along with a virtual follow-up 1 month later. We also have the disciplinary literacy series going on. So we just finished the notebooking strand this month. The next strands that are coming up are discourse, science text, and argumentation. And you can see here that for the discourse, That's next month, January. It's going to be held at the Aquarium of the Pacific. And if you are a K-5 teacher, then January 19th is the session for you. If you are a 6th through 12th grade, then January 26th is for you. So you can see that there are dates here for the science text in February, again, elementary and secondary. And then we've got an argumentation for the secondary scheduled for March 1st, okay? We have the computer science speaker series. So if you've been hearing about it, but have not attended, now is the time to do it, because this is the 4th of 5 series. And this one is featuring Professor Fei Qian, looking at robot locomotion. And this one is, originally it was for middle and high school teachers, but even if you are an elementary and or a middle school, please feel free to attend any and all of these computer science speaker workshops. At the end of these workshops, you'll get an opportunity to potentially work with the professor as well as their graduate student teams to help develop classroom lessons. So if that's of interest, or if you just want to see what's going on in the world of computer science, please join us. So this one is scheduled for January 19th, and then we've got one more in the series in February. So register today. We also have the statewide professional learning series for NGSS coming up. We just completed the November session. January, we were originally offered that one, but due to low enrollment, that offering in January is going to be discontinued. And so we'll be offering March, and then we are currently in discussion for a possible summer training. And that summer training may also be as a hybrid. So that means that if I'm hosting, we'll be hosting a hub, and that means that all of you can come to me, then we'll join the entire state doing some trainings, and then we'll do some breakouts that are county specific, et cetera, et cetera. So we're looking forward to that. Hopefully that is going to take place during the summer. But again, those are still to be discussed right now. But I just wanted to throw that out to you. If that is something that is of interest, let me know so I can let the collaborative know, and then we can go ahead and put that into the books. For those of you who are interested in the computer science, we've got the Winter of CS, the computer science, taking place, and there are 2 days to choose from, either January 24th or February 13th. And these Winter of Computer Science trainings are for 3 different target areas. One of them is for you, the teachers. We have a second one that's for administrators. And the third strand, believe it or not, is for our counselors. So please let them know of what's going on. Again, we have 2 offerings, January 24th and February 13th. If you see the slide deck in the bit.ly link that I gave you earlier in the chat, all of these images are hyperlinked. So all you have to do is hover over the image, and then that'll take you straight over to the registration or the information page for that. Speaking of more more training, we also have this lesson study facilitation training that's through Cal State Northridge, but specifically through the California Science Project. So they are working with all of you, if potentially, to provide some lesson study facilitation skills so that you can deliver this in your school sites. It's great for your PLCs. It's definitely great for MTSS work, especially if you are a differentiated assistance district as well. All right. Other than that, we look forward to, again, to seeing you next time at our next meeting, which is scheduled for January 13th from 3:30 to 4:30 p.m. And again, happy holidays, everybody. I'll stick around if you have any questions, but if there's anything you need, please let me know. Send it in an email. Feel free to unmute yourself, and I can chit chat with you after the end of this. But I'm always here to provide assistance as much as I can. All right. So thank you, everybody. Happy holidays. I'm going to go ahead and stop the share, stop the video. And if you need a chit chat, I'm here.
Thank you so much for this presentation.